I hope this makes a difference, I really do. So like I said, I'm starting to run out of ideas. So I mean, that lights up, which I expected. No, what is going on with this car? I cannot believe I've just bought this C63 AMG coupe. 6.2, 6.3, whatever litre V8. It's an absolute beast, and I don't think I've ever been more excited about buying a car, honestly. This has been one of my dream cars for a long time, and I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm scared. Everything, all the emotions you can think are going through my body right now. And mainly because it's listed as a non-runner. I cannot believe I bought this car. Wow, I'm so excited. I'm gonna have to turn around and show you this. Look at that. Am I mad? Am I absolutely bonkers or what? It's a proper AMG. Coupe, white. It's an edition 125. It's got everything going for it. What a car, what a car. It's had some decent whack, don't get me wrong. It has. That has hit something pretty hard. Yeah, it's going to take some fixing. It's going to take some money. But I think it was a really good price, this. Now, listed as a non-runner, that is the main scary part for this car. So on the auction, the bonnet was jammed shut. It said bonnet jammed there. Bonnet was jammed shut. It looked like there was enough weight in the front of the car to have an engine, but all the way driving there to pick it up, I was petrified that I was going to open this bonnet and there were going to be no engine. So I'm going to show you. There is an engine. So that's the first positive. There is an engine. This car is a 2013 63 plate and it's got 45,000 miles on it. So it's like I say, it's got everything going for it. It's the right model, it's the right mileage, great colour, pan roof, great spec. I really like it, I really like it. And I'm telling you now, I'm keeping this car. I will not, if I can get this running, fixed back on the road, I won't be able to part with this car. Honestly, not for a while. I've only won that long, it's the noise. So excited. So now, the mission for today, in this video, I need to hear this engine run before I think about spending any money on parts, because I'm sure you'll remember, and it's roughly just over a year ago, the last time we had a V8 white German coupe. What was it? Yes, it was that RS5. And we all know how that one ended up. That did in fact have a seized engine. So I'm hoping this isn't the case with this one. There's a few things at auction that I saw that made me kind of think it wouldn't be. Few things. Firstly, obviously, the bonnet being jammed shut meant they couldn't get in it to put a boost pack on. There, right? The car was listed, non-runner, no power to the dash. So they hadn't been able to get the bonnet open to put a boost pack on it to get power to try it. So they haven't tried it. I'm 100% certain of that. The battery is in the boot, but they couldn't get the boot open because there was no power to the car. Okay? Secondly, I think it's all fallen off now. I think it pretty much has, but I could see on the picture the under tray is still present under the car, and with this obviously being here as well, I don't believe it's gone over anything. Okay, so I don't think there's any damage to the underside of the engine. The only thing that could possibly be a concern is this auxiliary oil cooler. There's this one, there's one at the front in there. That one's fine. This one, yes, is bust. So oil could have leaked out of these. Okay, so that's a possible concern. But also on these cars, when they blow airbags, which yes, we've got some airbags blown, only minor ones, steering wheel, knee and seat belts. But when the airbags blow on these, they do have a pyro fuse, which is under this block. That's your pyro fuse, so that stops power going to your starter motor. So after the crash, unless someone breached that, they couldn't have possibly tried to start this car. Okay, so there's a few fail-safes in there to make sure that people don't try and run them after they've been in a crash. Obviously all of this is just hypothetical at this point, isn't it? We need to hear this engine run. So I got this yesterday. This got dropped, I picked it up yesterday, sorry. The batteries were flat. So what I did all night, I had the battery on charge. The battery is in the boot, which is there. We have power to the car, okay? Now I'll show you what happens. We can open the door, and as you can see, the dash clocks are lit up. They are lit up. I'm going to cycle it there. 45,965 miles. The problem is, firstly, the key is stuck in the ignition, and secondly, you turn it on and nothing happens. The car is in park. I've tried it with the handbrake on. I can't, I've tried everything basically. I can't get any ignition lights on. So, what we need to do, firstly, is in where this pyro fuse is, this like big block goes right down deep, and inside all there is all your big main breakers, fuses, that power everything up. So I'm kind of expecting if we can remove this, pull it apart, we're going to find that some fuses have gone inside there. That's what I'm thinking, or kind of hoping. So mate, that's basically a plan. That's what I'm going to do. But let's just look around the rest of the car, because as you probably noticed, the wheels aren't pointed in the right direction. Now this one looks worse because the tyre's completely off the rim. So that looks worse, yes. Obviously the wheels are absolutely knackered, all four. But that looks bad because the tyre's off. In terms of suspension damage on this side, I can't remember what it was looking like underneath, but I don't think there is anything on this side. I think the issue is on this side. This one obviously is a problem, but I don't know if I can get you in there. If you look under there, this control arm might just be black screen, that, but that control arm is no longer attached. So that's why that wheel's out of place. This rear one is okay. That's okay. This rear one is not, it's slightly off. Now again, all that is underneath there is a couple of control arms. There's a lower arm that the shock absorber sits in. The shock absorber's gone straight through it, because as you can see there, that's from a curb. So when the curbs hit the wheel that hard upwards, it's put the shocker straight through the bottom of the cup, and that's why the wheel's kinked off a little bit. In terms of suspension damage, I'm not concerned. I'm pretty sure you'll find that most of these control arms are the same for all the C-Class W204 coupes, I would expect. I mean, I do need to do some research on that. This wing will survive. It's got a bit of a kink there, but you can see it straightens up. Needs a bit of manipulation. The chassis legs are perfectly fine. There's nothing on them legs at all. They haven't been hit. It's just had it there, and it's had it in here, and it's missed both legs. So that's critical. That, and these actual legs, they have like an extension piece. So you've got your crash bar, aluminium crash bar, aluminium extension piece, and your chassis doesn't actually start until back here. So you can change them legs very easily. Obviously, complete front panel. Rad pack, I don't know yet. There isn't any coolant in it, so I'm suspecting the radiator has been bust. But like I said, we've got this oil radiator. I'm not 100% sure what this one does yet, but it looks fine. That one's fine. I suspect the aircon radiator is fine. So yeah, all good. So now, I was under the impression these didn't have a dipstick, but in fact it does. It does have a dipstick, and it's actually got plenty of oil in it. It's halfway between minimum and maximum. So that's another good sign that the engine is good. And if you remember on the RS5, in the end, I put a socket on the pulley, main pulley, and that engine was solid. This engine does move by hand. So another great sign. I'm 99% sure this engine is perfectly fine. It's just sorting out this power. Right. I'm so excited. We need to get this thing running. Let's, first of all, figure out how to get the dash lights on, and then we're going to have to do something about this oil cooler, I think. Perhaps link it out. We'll come to that. I want to get the dash lights on first, and then before we go to start, we're going to be checking all this stuff. We'll look underneath it. Do you know what I mean? Make sure we're not going to do any damage. So yeah, let's get this block out. Now, last night, I'm sure you all know about the channel, Matt Armstrong. I binge watched a load of his videos because he's done a couple of these, and he had the exact same, well, similar issue where he had the pyro fuse blown, so he took all this block out. So I do know what it looks like in there. So it's tricky, I know that, but it's got to come out. I can't see it being anything else. I've checked the fuses in the boot, because there is a 60 amp in the boot down there. I've checked that, I've checked this little, and there doesn't seem to be anything else back here. And the negative breaker is still fine. I've checked continuity across that. So yeah, I'm kind of pretty much certain it's got to be something to do in that block. So let's get the camera going. Let's get that out, and let's make some progress on this C63 AMG. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Right, I've got it all out and separated. It was a wrestle. In the end, I took the ECU out, the ECU bracket, so that I could get all this harness loose to get enough to get all these white cables high enough to undo them from it. So then I could get it out and then separate it. So yeah, these are all the fuses I was talking about. You got a 150, an 80, you got a 60, 50, 40, another 100 there. So I've been across them all with continuity, literally just one prong on each side. For instance, this one up here, they all buzz out okay, except for the pyro fuse, which, like I said, that is for the starter. So ignition lights should come on without pyro fuse, but knowing that it's now blown, what I'll do is I'll whip it off quickly, get a part number. I mean, it can stay out. I'm going to fit this all back in temporary, because what I'm thinking is maybe this is your battery isolator relay, which bridges power. I don't know if it goes from there to there, or if it goes from there to there. I'm guessing it goes from here to here. And although at the minute I've got continuity across, I'm just thinking maybe when I've got the battery connected up, the computer's telling it to pull this relay and not putting power to that one. I can't remember if I checked it or not. So yeah, I think the best bet is pull that pyro, or put it back in. Now we know internals is okay, we can try jumping across them, and if we can get the ignition on, I can jump that, not an issue, to try to start it. I can put that onto there and it'll be fine to try and start it. But yeah, that's definitely blown. But everything else, even that, seems fine. I was kind of hoping I was going to find something concrete, like, but it is what it is. Let's get it back together and see if this is anything to do with it here. I don't know what that tab is there. Doesn't seem to do anything. Yeah. Alright, at least we know what it looks like inside. Let's continue. Okay, right, after a couple of hours of messing around, we've now got this back in, okay? It's all connected up except for the pyro and obviously the starter motor, because I've removed the pyro out of there. This doesn't matter. Like I said, worst case, if I can get ignition on, if I hold them together and then turn the key, it would fire the starter. So that's fine, all right? Anyway, that's not solved my issue. These have got continuity, so there's no issue with the battery isolation relay. So from there, I decided to go through all the fuses in the car, all of these fuses, and then I found the other fuse box is in the boot behind here. Sorry if that's a bit dark, I should probably get a camera. Not a camera, I mean a torch. But again, the only one fuse I found blown was that yellow 25. It'd be interesting to know what it actually is, but I'm trying to check that actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down on the right. So I'll check that at some point. That fuse was blown, hasn't made any difference. So I started to think again, power, it's power related. So I've got my battery tester here, and this is the old battery. It's not an original battery, so I don't know if it was the right size, but it says 95 amp hour EN 850 capacity. So if we connect my battery tester up, this puts a test through the battery, okay? I've already done it, I'm not going to lie. So it's an EN 850. Testing. So what it's saying is there's 11.5 volts in there, but the state of charge is 0. And I don't know what the state of H something is, 90 EN. Now that originally would have been the 850, or is it 95? Either way, it's saying 0% and 0%. So that battery is no good. The battery just won't, it's taking some volts, but I believe it to be knackered. Put it that way. So I've got a new one, right? I've got a new battery. Not tested it yet. I just want to run my tester on it to see what it says, out of interest. Because I think you probably know, the ignition system on these is electronic. It's not like just turning a normal key. So battery issues could be a problem. So like I said, this battery is slightly smaller, but I've been to the car place, and on the reg, this is the battery it says is the correct battery. So 12.5, it's the easiest, state of charge 70, SOH 91%, so 764 EN of the 800, yeah, are functioning good. Whereas on this, 95 of the 850 were functioning good. So that battery is never going to work right, is it? In my opinion. Is this the issue? Don't know. But there's only one way I want to find out. I hope I just haven't brought that. And yeah, that is by trying it. So, because I'm really running out of ideas here. I do believe it's a power issue, obviously, but I do know that these are quite prone, or all the Mercs are quite prone to having EIS issues, which is electronic ignition system. So, I mean, it will be interesting to see just what this does, if anything. So ignition's off. I hope this makes a difference, I really do. So like I said, I'm starting to run out of ideas. So I mean, that lights up, which I expected. No, what is going on with this car? I mean, it locks, unlocks. I mean, everything's lit up inside. All this. None of that seems to work. The houses will come on. I don't know what is going on with it. I've scanned it. I'd get the occasional, hear it then, click from this box, from something in here. But there, it did it again then. Strange. But I'm sure now if we get the meter. Oh. Put them on there. It's a right mess in here, isn't it, at the minute? See, 10.4 amps. 10.4. It's not a lot. Where's it going? Where is it going? You'd expect there to be more than 10.4 there. Let's have a look. Check out this battery. It says 12.2 at the battery end. 10.4 when it gets into the engine bay. And obviously absolutely nothing when it gets to the key. But then you shut the door, open it again, the clocks will light up, but nothing. It's a weird one, it's this. So I don't know if they've damaged it, forcing the key in the salvage yard, trying to make it do something. But I can't get the key out. This won't come out. It's not turning completely off. I don't know what to do now, really. Do I try and get this cover off? Does it even come off, this cover? I don't think it does. Try and get to the back of that key area. Or do I go down the lines of a possible issue with the EIS system? But would it really have just developed an issue? Obviously it was fine because they crashed it, so it was working. Tricky one, this. Tricky one. I'm gonna have a think about things again. I'll carry on plugging away at it, see what I can figure out. I'm hoping I can come back to you with a bit of an update, because I want to know what is going on with this. I do think it'll run, I do. It's just obviously there is some power issue somewhere. It's a weird one. Hopefully I'll update you shortly. Oh, have I got some things to tell you? I think we're about 4 hours later now. You see the big pool of oil? I'll explain that in a second. Right, so where we left off, we were getting no lights on, were we? And the key were locked in. Right, well, my torch is dead. Let me get my phone. Oh, crikey. What a day. Been pulling my hair out. It's like 6:30 on a Saturday now. I've been here since 9 this morning. Right, let's go through this. So we couldn't get any power on the dash, and the key was stuck in the ignition. So after much Googling and research, I found out that although it is an electronic ignition, they have a cable on them that goes to the shifter, which is that black one there, with the pin sticking out of it, which has to be pushed in for the key to come out. So, if you see that, if I push that in, I can't do it with one hand. Basically then I can turn that key and it comes out, right? Once you've done that, the system has to recognise the steering lock to resync itself. You pull the key out, the steering lock fires electronically, which you can hear, and then when you put the key back in, you hear it unlock, turn the key, and you get all your lights. So, that got me through that issue. That got me all the lights on. Now this was probably an hour ago I figured this out. I couldn't then still start the car. I went to start it and nothing was happening. Nothing at all. So again, after much more Google research, Google's great, I couldn't find the fuse diagram, so I googled it, and it turns out that fuse number 7, which is now that 30 amp green one just below the red one, was blown, and that is the starter relay, not the relay, starter fuse, sorry. It should be a 20 amp, yeah, I've got a 30 in there because I put a 20 amp in, went to start and it blew it again. So I put a 30 in, and then what was happening was I went to start, I could hear the starter clicking, but it wouldn't fire. So after all that, I got the boost pack, and I threw the boost pack on there to give it more power, and it started straight up, but obviously the oil cooler is smashed to bits, which I knew, so I turned it straight off. So there we are. That's where we're up to. We have a running engine and it sounded good. So I'm contemplating now doing an oil cooler delete quickly, put a piece of pipe between the two ends, put some oil back in it, and then hopefully I can start it and I can show it you running. I can't start it obviously like, look at all the oil it spewed out. That was only running 5 seconds maybe. What do you think? Should we do that? Should we whip the oil cooler out, link it out, throw a pipe on, and actually get this thing running for more than 5 seconds? But honestly, it didn't half bark when it started. Wow. Wow, indeed. Got a lot of a mess to tidy up, but it's all been worth it. It's all been worth it. There's a lot of oil there in there. The place is a bomb site. Like I said, I've been ripping my hair out all day. Oh. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, it's just oozing out. Where's the pipe? There's one pipe at the top corner here. Where's the other one? Where's the other pipe one? Bottom corner. Yeah, it's this. That then goes to the next oil cooler, which isn't leaking. This is going to be messy, I think, but I need to do it. I feel like I need to do it. Right, I'm going to get that linked out. Bear with me a few minutes. I'm not going to do this on camera. I need to get on with it because my tea's already cooked. I'm already in trouble. I need to get it done just for peace of mind. I can get out of here then. So bear with me on it. Right. That had leaked a lot of oil. I've got a pipe in there. Confident it'll do the job temporarily. Can't leave it running long. Got enough oil back in it. So, this is it. Like I said, I can't leave it running long because I don't know about any other leaks. But I've got to show you. You ready? Booster. Booster back. One moment. Take 2. You ready? Oh, yes. Is it leaking? Oh, jeez. Oh, some pressure in that. There's some pressure in that. Yeah. That's it. That is it. I had my phone on as well. Can you believe it? It runs, and it runs good. Wow, sounds so good. Can you, oh my God. You don't understand the relief of that. You honestly don't understand the relief. Oh Christ, that didn't work too well. Of how happy I am. Should turn off. Oh, yes, yes. Oh my Lord. Can you believe it? I need to just come back down now. I need a moment. I need a moment. What a day. What a day. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Well, I'm ending it. I need to get off camera. I'm massively late for my tea. I'm in loads of trouble. But has it been worth it just to hear that noise? Yes, it has. If you want to see more of this car, make sure you are subscribed. Because I'm rebuilding this and I cannot wait. Thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, I need to go. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.